Welcome. Thank you for joining Happy and Better.TV. We are so glad you could join us today. Oh, do we have some good information for you? You know how people will say, well, what separates one person from another person? And I like to think, actually, it's about information and education. So today we have Clint Allen with us, who's going to talk about how to empower yourself through education. Clint, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'm glad to have you here. Now, are you one of those people that went through high school, got all A's, was a class president, got scholarships straight to college?
No, absolutely not. What I did was I dropped out of high school. I was in the music business at a very young age, and I was preoccupied with that. And essentially, I did the GED, and then I jumped into college directly after that. But the reason I'm here to share my story is I want to express to everybody that a journey in education is sort of it's an opportunity for optimization and renewal, and this is a journey that you, in my opinion, take throughout your life, and I've had a great experience with it, and I just want to share it with your viewers.
Well, that's wonderful, and of course we agree, learning is lifelong. It's not something you do in a certain level of high school or college and you're done. Hopefully all of us are trying to learn on a daily basis because there's so much information and we are such complex individuals. So after your music career, what do you do?
Well, what happened there is I sort of tried to gel into doing both at the same time, and it didn't work. So to make a long story short, it took me 37 years to get a 4-year degree. But
guess what? That was perfect timing.
I tell always, people, if it's 1 minute to get it right in your life, you did it right.
I like to tell people that, you know, people say, oh, it took so long. Oh, it took 30 years. But guess what? 30 years is going to pass anyway.
That's right.
It's better to have finally achieved something than to let all that time go by. And what I don't like to hear people say is, oh, I'm too old. Oh, it's too late. It's never too late.
No,
yay.
It's never too late. And that's why I just want to share with your viewers that I'm the perfect example. If you ask me, why ask me? Because it took me 37 years to get the 4-year degree. And in doing so, it was catalyzed basically by, I lived in different cities. I lived in Los Angeles. I did UCLA extension courses, this and that. I ended up in Las Vegas after the recession. But essentially, basically, you just kind of look at yourself one day and you go, you know what, this is unfinished business. And if you believe in education, which I always did, never a conformist and never liked to sit still in class, but I like to learn. And I think that that tool and that ability to just open your mind.
I have to ask you this, Clint.
Important.
Tell us about that moment when you decided that your education was unfinished business.
Well, being self-employed through various vocations and professions all my life, I realized that essentially the importance of education, but I really felt at my age of, I think I was 53, 54 at the
Well, you
time.
look young already.
well, what happened is August of 2012, I just thought, you know what, I don't know how I'm going to finance this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to finish my damn degree. I'm going to get that done.
Good for you.
And I went to Nevada State College, a little less expensive than UNLV. Great school, their new school, online. I could do most of it, if not all of it, online. But I had also garnered almost close to 2 full degrees of classes over the 30 some odd years I had been around.
Okay.
The problem is you got to torque these things into the institution's version of what the degree they're going to give you. So back to your question, what motivated it was simply It's about being a better person, builds a better community, builds a better world.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you're saying you looked up in about 2012 and you had all of these college credits, but they weren't leading toward a specific degree. Is that what you're saying?
I looked up, down, sideways, and every which way possible. And I have studied everything from business to finance to judo to music to swimming, you know, everything. And I just thought, you know what, let's wrap it up where we can get a sense of it and everybody else can too. And that's what happened. So I jumped into that, knocked it out inside of 2 years, and ultimately jumped into Western Governors University for the Master's Business Program.
Tell us about Western.
Western Governors University it's a fabulous online institution. They just now did a affiliation with Nevada. They are out of Salt Lake City. They're nationwide. And they do certain affiliations with various states, but they really support adult education, online. They do a lot of military. It's nonprofit. You're not going to get a better education, fully accredited education for any less money. You'll get a mentor that coaches you every week. You will get the opportunity. It's a competency-based educational track, which means you can take your life experience, and if you can take the exams, and if you know what's up, you don't have to open a book. You're going to get credit for it. You take the test, you move to the next track.
That is wonderful. I'm particularly interested in the mentorship. How does that work? That's wonderful.
It is wonderful. And as we all know, integrating education in our daily lives can be a serious burden and a challenge. And what the mentor does, you're assigned a mentor, and he or she will call you once a week, and they'll keep you focused on your pace, how you're doing, any questions. It's a brief phone conversation, and you probably, like myself, was talking too much anyway, but nevertheless created a friendship over the time, and they really care about you graduating and learning and getting through that experience. And then you have your course mentors that also will mentor you through the course. So you have like we call it a track mentor.
That's the one that calls you once a week?
Once a week. And then because it's a competency-based school, you're really teaching yourself. You're given materials, and it's like, go for it. And at the end of the course, you're going to have an objective exam, which would be either multi-state questions, or you'll have a performance exam, which will be you'll write a paper, or you'll have both, either one or both. And then you pass that and move to the next one. And the beautiful thing about it is that you're paying for terms, like a 6-month term, and you can put as many of those classes in that term as you can for the money.
Nice.
And you're investing in a nonprofit organization. Several governors of Western states put this thing together in the late 90s, I believe. You can look it up. It's called Western Governors University. Look it up. It's a fabulous, I've got to tell you, it's great.
It sounds great, and I'm so grateful to you for sharing the information about it. I had not heard about it.
I haven't either.
And I'm one of these people, I like to go around and say that if I were in charge, my wish list would be free education for everybody.
Well,
I mean, just if you want to learn, here's a course, you can take it. And I include in my wish, I'm making a whole wish here, that it would be for the trades also, that people could go and learn to be a plumber, an electrician, whatever their heart desire was.
Well, I can tell you this, that there are financial aids, scholarships. I received a grant because I was my age going back to school that paid for most of my undergrad studies. That money you don't have to pay back.
Tell us about that grant.
That grant, specifically, I'm not quite sure what it's called.
Sure.
But when you're going back to school, the steps involved, you want to get on what they call FAFSA, FAFSA.gov or .org. Let me check my notes.
Scott has put it on the screen, bless his heart.
Okay. And you're going to fill out the application. I think you pay them whatever fee they want. They're very helpful, and they will put together the programs that are available to you with Stafford loans, grants, Grad Plus loans, and they torque that into the proper information so that whatever school you put on your list, the school has that available. So once you're accepted to the school, then it goes to their finance department, and they'll help you.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know these things.
None of us do.
I was worried about how am I going to eat and go to school and work and do what I do.
Yes.
But here's the interesting thing about it. The government has set up, scholarships are set up because they want to infuse money into the economy, which is a great thing. And what a better way to do it than via an educated populace.
Oh my God, that changes the world.
An educated populace changes the world.
Yes.
It's a better place.
It's much better if the government will allow people to go and get an education versus a group indoctrinating them.
These ways
into these
can happen with your trades. I mean, it's out there. And I just would want to tell everybody, if I can do it, everybody can do it.
Okay.
And another thing is, which is very interesting, is that when you get these student loans, the interest rates are low. Some have no interest rates at all. There's laws that you don't have to pay back the loan only 10% of what you make after you graduate. And the good thing about it is you don't have to pay back any loan until you graduate. So if you want to continue going to school, you get a 6-month gap.
A little loophole. That's what we're
No, but here's the upside.
Yeah.
The institution makes money. We support an educational system. The money that's not used for the institution, you can take, and you can take a vacation. You can go to the grocery store. You can buy whatever you want, because it's a better way to put money through the system and educate the populace. It's a win-win ticket for everybody.
I'm interested in your proposal and your experience, actually, of having gotten grants, having gotten scholarships to help you pay your way through. That's fascinating. When you got that first grant, because of your age, do you have to pay that back, or is that yours to use for your education?
I'll tell you, the short answer is no, you don't have to pay it back. And another answer is, I was just doing a tax return recently and found out there was something else in my recent tax return that actually paid me another $1,500 or something because I had an education. So there's things out there that'll pop up, but you must research.
Yes.
And be diligent, but they're out there. There really are. And I'm getting ready to do law school here in about within less than a month.
Good.
For graduate financing, you get what they call the Stafford loan. Standard issues $20,000 a year to apply toward a graduate tuition. You pay that out over time, but you don't pay anything until 6 months after you graduate and you're done. So once again, if you want to be a PhD, or if you want to continue to get an education, I'm not saying never pay anything back. I'm just saying that the support is there for it. And while people complain or may think that it's costly, the question I would propose is, how costly is it to remain ignorant most of your life and uninformed?
And underpaid.
And underpaid.
You know, making the lowest amount of money for what you do.
I want to say that it's not all about the work. It's also about metaphysical changes and benefits in your mind.
Absolutely.
It's about spiritual endowment and encouragement.
Yes.
And it transcends socially, professionally, spiritually,
in every way,
intellectually. I think it's a win-win ticket. I've been no angel at times in my life, and I can tell you my investment in education, where I did it right all the time, every time, all the time, was to get an education in whatever you like to do.
Absolutely, and that is our message. So we congratulate you on getting ready to embark on your law school journey. That's going to be exciting.
I will report to you and everybody else It's going to be fun.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yes, it is. And thank you for sharing and encouraging everyone to realize that through diligent research and the site that was put up on the screen, that with effort, they can perhaps find a way to finance their education.
Absolutely.
It's not all about having a lump sum of money in your pocket.
No, it's not
a lot
about
of
that
people
at all.
today worry about getting student loans, however, because they're hearing about the doctors that are saying that they have to work 10 years once they start a practice trying to pay off those student loans. But there are other ways, and you are a product for that.
Well, once again, I think it's people buy houses, people buy cars, they buy boats, they buy airplanes, they buy too much of certain things. I don't think it's a problem to buy too much education. I really don't. I want to advocate that everybody spend money on education. I really do.
Thank you, Clint. That's it. That's it. That's the message.
Really
and we want to say it over and over. Thank you so much for joining Happy and Better.TV today.
We're going to be happy and better because of it.
Yes, education is the key. I truly believe that. And thank you for that valuable information.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, that's it for this time, folks. We'll see you real soon. Don't forget, we are going to be an educated audience. All right? Thank you. Bless you. See you next time. That was